The supplies I'm going to be using today are the ones before me here. A white jelly roll 10 and a white jelly roll 8. A gold metallic jelly roll, a Sakura Micron 01 in brown, a Sakura Micron PN in brown, a Sakura Micron 01 in black, a white charcoal pencil, a General's white charcoal, and a Zentangle graphite pencil. 2 tortillons, one for black, one for white. So with those, which are our basic Renaissance tangling kit, we are going to be working on a tan tile and creating something that is, I think, quite lovely. So let us begin. We have our tan tile before us and our graphite pencil. And let us begin the first step in tangling, especially when we want to have a meditative time, and that is to quiet ourselves and think about what we're grateful for, what fills our heart with joy and gratitude. It may be something small, it may be large. It may simply be having a little time where we can focus on our art and create something beautiful. Now, let us take our pencil and put our 4 dots where we break that clean surface of the tile. Our dots today, I'm going to suggest bringing them in a little bit, maybe a little over a half an inch from the edge, maybe 5/8 of an inch. Turn your tile as you go. And after we've done that, let us draw some lines. And let us draw some elegant lines. That means not having them look like you drew them with a ruler, but rather with a hand that wanted a line to inspire creativity. Now that we have that, we need to put our string, our starting point for our tangle today. We are tangling a monotangle, which means one tangle without any others. Admittedly, our tangle today combines several of them, and it's the tangle Squid from Zentangle HQ. And let's put our string, which is basically today a small orb, and let's put it kind of in one of the quadrants of our big square and call that our string. Now we take our Micron 01 black and create what, if it were just by itself, we would call a Bronx cheer, which means it's going to sort of look like a berry. a raspberry. And we do it by putting down some small orbs and creating a little open place, and then shading in the rest of this, coloring in the rest of this, maybe leaving a little white at the bottom where the light would hit it. And we're going to fill this area maybe and then some with these orbs. I'm aiming all of the little open spaces there kind of in this direction. That string circle that we drew was merely a suggestion. You don't have to stay within the bounds or anything like that. When you feel like you have enough of little orbs in that space, then stop. Still using our black Micron 01, Now we're going to create some large leaf shapes using an arc or an S-curve. And let's turn our tile and go around and add several of them. And let's extend them beyond our frame here. I'll show you what we're going to do with that later. Okay, now that we have gone around one time and spaced them like this, we're going to go around again and drawing behind, as we would if we were drawing a hollabah, we'll put more of these. Now remember, there are no mistakes. Whatever happens is just fine. Okay, that looks like about enough. We want them a little dense, but not necessarily too dense. Now, let us take our Micron 01 in the brown and put in a bunch of tiny orbs like tipple. They'll kind of reflect these orbs, but we're going to leave them open. And you can squash them in between these branches or these leaf shapes, tentacles, or you can make them look like they're going behind the tentacles. These are just fillers. And we're going to kind of put them in a circle, an orb around here. We're not going to take them all the way out to the edge, but we're going to keep them near the Bronx cheer. And you can just eyeball this. I'm going to fill in the interstices between these orbs. I think I'll do it as I go. Or you can wait and draw all the orbs and then do it when you fill them all in at the end. Later, we're going to come back and redefine these lines. So if you go over just a bit, it's okay. We'll fix that. Okay. Okay, now, continuing with our O1s, black, I want us to do some shading with our pens. Here is one of these that I started. We're going to be making little hatching marks, very delicate, holding our pen very lightly, leaving white space. And then we're going to come back with a white pen and do similar hatching marks where we would have highlights. So we're going to leave those spaces blank and then come back with the white. And we're going to go all the way around with this. Okay, so I'm going to start like right here, very lightly, and just make little hatch marks. And I want to leave this area empty, or maybe with just a few little lines, and then make this darker as well, lightly, lightly. I don't want it too dark. Of course, we could make it a little bit darker down here, but then leave it like that. So on this one that goes underneath, we want to enhance the fact that it is going underneath, so there'll be a shadow there. And we'll put little heavier marks and come on down. And I may want to leave a little highlight here just for interest. So I'll do this very lightly. And then with my Jelly Roll 08, I'm going to come in here and put a few light, maybe even leaving a few sparkles in there here, and then a little white here. We're drawing against this toned background, so we can make our marks darker than the background, or we can add white and make that lighter than the background. Now we're going to go around and we're going to do this to all of these little leaves. Paying attention to where they go over and under each other. Here I've gone over, but I can come back with my white pen and go over that. You can do this shading with your graphite pencil. I just think it's interesting sometimes to go ahead and use our O1 and draw little lines like you might see in an etching. You can also kind of flick your pen, especially when you're wanting to start out a little darker and then move to something lighter. So here I'm going over, so I'm going to leave this open, and then come back here. If it's real long, you can even add 2 highlights if you like. See, this one is overshadowed twice, once right in here and once up here. Be sure to relax your hand, relax your shoulders. Oops. Okay, this one is going over 2. I'm going to leave 2 highlights there. Let me go back with my white pen now. And don't try to make this solid. The lighting is very hard. Let's see if you can see better now. Not really. All right. And then to smooth these, you kind of extend that white down into that area where the black is. And it makes it look like a smooth transition. Be careful about these white pens. They take a little longer to dry. They also are water soluble and can be scraped off if you like. So they're quite a bit different from these 0.1 microns or any microns, because these are made from permanent ink, like India ink. And if you make a mark with these, the mark is made. Remember the light touch. Follow the contours of the leaf. Okay, now let's take our brown PN and go back and look at that border that we drew in the beginning with our graphite pencil, and just go around with it. Now, this PN pen is a little bit more flexible, and Maria has this way of kind of pressing down and then coming back up to make an edge made with this look kind of like a decal edge. Let's see here. And all this we're going to be drawing behind. So you press down and then you kind of let up a little bit. Maria is a calligrapher and she is used to pressing down and coming off that with her calligraphy pens. Now we're going to do something that might be a little counterintuitive, but trust me here. Let us take our, let's use our 10, our Jelly Roll 10, and come in and right inside this line, on the inside line, and actually I think I will draw it this way so that I can see what I'm putting my pen up against. Right inside there, let's make a white line. And we're making ourselves a very clear border. Right inside that line. Turn your tile, and now be careful because that white is still wet. So over here, I'm going to have to kind of draw it like that. Let me go back here. It looks like, well, no, I didn't miss anything. I think that's fine. Okay. Now we're going to have to wait a minute or two and let that dry. Now let's take our little graphite pencil and do a little shading. Let's put all around this center black glob of orbs like a Bronx cheer and put shading there. Then let us go around with a little bit of graphite all around these brown orbs that are behind the leaf shapes. Like that. And also, let's go around the square, the outside of this square, with some graphite. Okay. Now our magic wand, our tortillon. I'm going to use the one for a graphite pencil. And we're going to go around and kind of smooth that graphite out and work it gently into the paper. Kind of feather it out a little bit. Okay. Taking our white charcoal pencil, I don't know how you can have white charcoal, but apparently you can. We're going to shade in this area between the white line and the shading up here. So we're going to just put a lot of white charcoal on there and let that white charcoal work its magic. Okay. With our clean white tortillon, let's work our white chalk gently into this tan paper. And work it up into this graphite area. Blend it in. If you feel you need to add a little more, go for it. If you've picked up some graphite on the end of your white tortillon, you can always get an emery board and kind of clean it off and get back in there. Okay, so we've done this. And in some ways, in many ways, I would call this finished, done. And you may call it that too. However, Maria and Rick always talk about giving it some love. And so, I'm going to take a brief break and come back, and we're going to give it some more love. I'm going to take a black PN. I know I didn't include that right at the beginning, but I think it would work better. An 01 will work just fine, but this I can get a little bit wider line. I want to redefine these lines, these outlines of these leaves, and it will make them seem much more, make them stand out more. And it will clean up edges where we might have smeared some white chalk on them, or maybe a little white line or something. It will just make those lines look very clean. You could probably use an 03 also. In addition, I'm going to add little ends to those leaves to kind of give them some more personality. More character. Adding that little tip out here makes me think of a green bean, and how on that one end of the green bean it's pointed and looks very natural. Gives it an even stronger organic feel. Don't hesitate to sculpt these leaves a little more. Okay. Now, I'm going to add one more thing. I'm going to take my number 10 jelly roll and I'm going to add some sparkle. Where I left a blank, a tan blank, I'm going to add white pen. Just a dot. Dots can be so powerful. And I'm going to also add dots on these little orbs. And they will really add some sparkle to that. You're not adding a gold pen, really. You're just adding sparkle. It adds depth and contrast on this tan paper. Okay. Now there's one more thing I'd like to do to this paper. And here it is. I'm going to take a marker. You can use any marker you have, but I'm going to use a black marker. And in order to make this edge stand out more, I'm going to take the marker and just go around it like this. It kind of finishes off that edge. You can use brown or black or red or green or whatever you like. But especially if you put it on a background that is white or light color, it will separate this tile from the background. So see right there, you see how it separates itself from the background. So I am ready at this point to put my chop on this, on the front, and my signature on the back. So I'll put my little GP down here. And then I will turn it over and sign it and date it. And there you have it.